So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes. The idea behind this lecture series is very simple. We want you to cover your current affairs on a daily basis, but we want you to finish them quickly so that you have enough time for your other subjects of UPSC syllabus. All right. Now, the thing is that Monday's current affairs couldn't be uploaded on Monday because of a technical glitch. Okay, we were facing some technical problems, but those technical problems are sorted now. So today we are going to be covering December 30th, 2024's current affairs. Okay, Monday's current affairs. And Tuesday's current affairs would be uploaded soon. No day would be left. Okay, we have resolved to cover your current affairs on a daily basis. We will cover each and every day. So don't worry about that. All right. So today we are going to be covering Monday's current affairs, and these are the important topics that featured in Monday's newspaper. All right. In total, we'll be focusing on 5 topics. Here's the list. Number 1 is the issue of H-1B visas. As you know, Donald Trump has been elected the president of United States, and some of his supporters are opposing H-1B visas, which are generally given to Indians, skilled Indians who are working in America. Some of his supporters like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy are supporting H-1B visas, and some of his supporters are against H-1B visas. But Donald Trump has recently come out in support of H-1B visas. So what are these H-1B visas which is supported by Indians or which helps Indians to get good jobs, skilled jobs in USA? We'll talk about this issue. Then we'll talk about the issue of Houthis of Yemen. Houthis, a terror group which is affiliated to Iran, was recently bombed by Israel. Okay, after finishing Hezbollah, Israel has resolved to finish the deal with Houthis. So who are these Houthis and why are they dangerous on a global scale? We'll talk about this. Then recently, United States NASA had launched Parker Solar Probe. Okay, Solar Probe, as the name suggests, it was a mission, solar mission, and it has reached closest to the sun. So far, no other man-made instrument has reached that close to the sun. So we'll talk about this issue. Then we'll talk about China's 6th generation fighter aircraft, fighter jet. So far, only 5th generation fighter aircrafts have come out. Okay, and only USA, Russia, and China have 5th generation fighter aircrafts. So what is this 6th generation fighter aircraft? We'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about ISRO's docking mission, which is very important mission by ISRO. Okay, so these are the 5 topics that we'll focus our attention on. Please give me your 100% and let's begin with topic number 1. Okay, number 1 is the issue of H-1B visas. So there was this online feud between some of the supporters of Donald Trump on Twitter, which is called X now. Okay, Elon Musk and his supporters were in favor of H-1B visas, which are mostly given to Indians, and some of the supporters of the Republican Party, Donald Trump's party, are against H-1B visas. Okay, now what are H-1B visas? We'll talk about this. And why are Indians so interested in H-1B visas? H-1B visas are given to everyone, but why are Indians so interested in H-1B visas, and why are some of the tech giants like Elon Musk and other owners of tech companies are in favor of H-1B visas? What is so special about H-1B visas? Okay, so basically H-1B visas are given to those skilled non-American, skilled non-American, non-immigrant workers or foreigners. Okay, the thing is that there are some companies out there in USA who are unable to find skilled professionals in American workforce. Okay, they are unable to find skilled professionals in American workforce. Therefore, they are allowed to hire skilled foreigners from other countries' workforce by giving them H-1B visas. Okay, now these H-1B visas are given to skilled professionals, high-tech skilled professionals. Okay, at least a bachelor's degree is required for getting H-1B visas. So it allows American employers to hire non-immigrant workers in specialty occupations like software engineer, tech engineer, pharmaceutical expert. Okay, and minimum bachelor's degree is required to get these visas. Now, in USA, there is a cap on the amount of H-1B visas that can be issued in 1 year. So USA says that in 1 year, we will only issue 85,000 H-1B visas. Okay. 65,000 would be regular H1B visas, and 20,000 extra H1B visas would be given to extra skilled, extra specialist applicants. Okay, for example, PhD holders, masters. Okay, these people who are extra skilled. 20,000 would be for them, advanced degrees, people with advanced degrees, and 65,000 would be for regular people who are skilled and have a job letter from American companies. So basically, the idea behind H1B visa is that American companies can hire skilled foreigners, okay, which they are unable to find from the American workforce. Now, the thing is that there are many supporters of Donald Trump who are saying that American jobs should go to Americans. Okay, we shouldn't allow H1B visas. American jobs should go to Americans. If you're unable to find people from American workforce, well, search harder. Okay, but find Americans only. But some of the supporters of H1B visa say that this visa allows the top talent from all over the world to come to USA who contribute to USA's economy. So in a sense, USA's economy benefits because of H1B visas, because these skilled professionals from all over the world, the top talent from all over the world, contributes to American companies. All right. And these people are fighting amongst themselves. So there are supporters who are saying H1B visas is good for America. There are detractors who say H1B visas are bad for America. Okay. Now this visa is valid for 3 years, but there is a one-time extension that can be allowed for another 3 years. So if there is a person who has applied for H1B visa, the maximum time he can hold that visa, he or she can hold that visa, is for 6 years. 3 years initial period and 3 additional years for extension. Okay. Now, there are some special things, important points you need to remember about H1B visas. Okay. Now, the applicants for these H1B visas are selected via lottery systems. So, people apply and 85,000 visas are circulated among them through a lottery system. Okay. But an applicant must have a valid job letter from an American company to apply for this visa. You cannot apply for this visa before getting the job letter. Job letter is required. Now, H1B holders can see green card or permanent residency (PR) in USA. US government data shows that Indians have been the majority H1B visa holders in the past few years, and that is why Indians are so interested in H1B visas. Okay, it is said that from the 85,000 H1B visas issued annually, 72.3% of those visas are taken by Indians. Okay, so Indians are the majority beneficiary of this system, and that is why Indians are interested in this. Chinese people are a distant second. Okay, Chinese are like 15%, Indians are 72.3%. And as far as jobs are concerned, well, computer related jobs get 65% of the visas, followed by architecture, engineering, and serving, and education. Okay, and these H1B visa job holders, or these H1B visa holders, get high tech, high paying jobs. All right. Now, the thing is that the visa is valid for a max period of 6 years, but you can get another visa. After your 6 year period expires, you can get another visa for 3 years, and then extend it for 3 years, and then get another visa. If you are switching jobs, so let's suppose you got job in Microsoft and you switch to Google. Okay. Then you need another visa for that. All right. So this is the thing. All right. So this is what we need to know about H1B visas. Currently a very contentious issue in USA, but Indians are really interested in H1B visas, and many of the tech giants, tech company owners are also interested in H1B visas because they think that through this visa process, they can hire top talent pool of the world. All right. Now let's move on to our second news. Houthis of Yemen. And why were Houthis in the news? So Israel bombed several places in Yemen, including the airport in Sana'a. Sana'a is the capital of Yemen, where a high-level UN delegation led by WHO was present. So Sana'a is currently under the control of Houthis, and recently Israel bombed Houthi establishment, including Sana'a, where United Nations delegation was also there. Okay, so there are many people, including in UN, who are criticizing Israel for this. But Israel began attacking Houthi militant group last week. Okay. Now, who are Houthis? We'll talk about this. Houthis, they are basically, they're officially known as, their official name of their group is Ansar Allah, which means partisans of God. These are an Iranian-backed Shiite, that means these are Shia Muslims. So they are backed by Iran, Iranian backed Shia Muslim military and political movement in Yemen. Its members subscribe to minority Zaidi sect of Shia Islam, and these people advocate for regional autonomy in Yemen. So the thing in Yemen is, you have to understand this. The thing in Yemen is that Yemen is ruled by Sunni majority. So majority of people in Yemen are Sunni, and their president was also Sunni. Now these Shia Muslims created a group called Ansar Allah or Houthis, and they wanted regional autonomy in their majority areas. Therefore, in 2014, they launched a war against Sunni majority president. Okay, and therefore entire Yemen since 2014 got embroiled in a civil war like situation between Sunnis and Shias. The Shia group is backed by Ansar Allah or Houthis. The Sunni group is a regional group and is also backed by regional powers like Saudi Arabia, UAE, and whatnot. So Shias are backed by Iran. Sunnis are backed by Saudi Arabia, even USA also, and UAE. Okay. Now, currently, the civil war is still going on. Okay. The green portion, as you can see on this map, is controlled by Houthis. Okay. And the capital Sana'a also lies in this green portion. The pink portion, the yellow portion, the somewhat different dirty yellow portion is controlled by Sunni allies. Okay. And the civil war is going on. Now, the thing is that the portion occupied by Shia Muslims or Houthis is close to Red Sea. Okay, it is also close to this very narrow portion of water called Bab al Mandab Strait. Now, through this strait, majority of Asia Europe trade passes. Okay, many ships, commercial ships, pass through this. Okay, now since this region is controlled by Houthis, they can anytime stop or bombard the ships passing through this region. Now, the thing is that since Israel Hamas war, since the October 7 attack by Hamas to Israel, and since Israel started bombarding Hamas, since Hamas is also affiliated to Iran and Houthis are also affiliated to Iran. So, in retaliation to the attack on their brothers in Gaza, Houthis started attacking ships passing through this area. Okay, and they jeopardize trade between Asia and Europe and Africa through this strait. And that is why Israel, USA, UK, and many other NATO countries want Houthis gone. This is the situation. Plus, Houthis are affiliated to Iran, so this is the problem. All right. Houthis had started attacking commercial ships passing through Bab al Mandab Strait, the narrow entrance to the Red Sea between Yemen and the Horn of Africa. So this is known as the Horn of Africa, this portion. Okay, this is Bab al Mandab Strait, this is Horn of Africa, this is Yemen. All right, this impacted commercial shipping through this route. In fact, IMF's data says that commercial shipping has dropped considerably. All right, now to prevent this decline in international trade, United States, United Kingdom, and their NATO allies launched Operation Poseidon Archer, which involved bombing Houthi military establishment. Okay, this operation was supplemented by Operation Prosperity Guardian, which again started bombarding Houthi establishment, and now Israel has jumped into this. Okay, they are not only supporting Operation Poseidon and Operation Prosperity, they are themselves attacking Houthis. Now, why are they attacking Houthis? Look, since Israel-Hamas war, okay, Israel started bombarding Hamas. Now, the thing is that Hamas, Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, Houthis, which is in Yemen, okay, these three groups are affiliated to Iran. They are Iran's proxies in different regions who are doing the bidding of Iran. They're supported by Iran, supplied weapons by Iran, moral, mental, material support is given by Iran. In fact, Iran calls these groups, the network of these groups, axis of resistance. Now, since the war between Israel and Hamas, because Hezbollah and Houthis are allies of Iran and Hamas, started attacking Israel. That happened. Israel destroyed Hezbollah, then Houthis started attacking Israel. Now Israel has turned its gun on Houthis. Okay, and Israel has said that we will destroy Iran's axis of resistance, significantly significantly reducing the power that Iran wields in the region. All right. This is the background of all of this. All right. Okay. Now we'll move on to our third news item, which is Parker Solar Probe. Now, Parker Solar Probe is a NASA mission, and it's a NASA solar mission. Okay. By solar mission, it means that NASA wants to study the sun. Now, this mission was launched in 2018. All right. It was launched in 2018, but why is it in news now in 2024? The thing is that NASA scientists have confirmed that Parker Solar Probe survived the closest ever approach to the sun. Okay. Parker Solar Probe reached 6.1 million kilometer to the sun's surface, solar surface. So Parker Solar Probe survived while it was 6.1 million kilometers away from solar surface. Now remember, 6.1 kilometer from sun is very close to the sun. Not even Mercury, the planet closest to the sun, is that close to sun. Now this spacecraft that NASA sent to study the sun survived even being 6.1 kilometer close to solar surface. Now Earth is 93 million miles or 120 million kilometers away from sun. This spacecraft was just 6.1 million kilometers away from sun. Okay. So this is the thing. This is the significant achievement that Parker Solar Probe has achieved. It has proved that it can survive. It was still working because the climate is the weather is very hot, 6 million kilometers away from sun. Still, this Parker Solar Probe survived. This is a significant achievement. All right. Now, what is Parker Solar Probe? So basically, it was launched in 2018 as part of NASA's Living with a Star program. So basically, NASA launched Living with a Star program. Under this program, NASA wanted to study those parts of sun or those aspects of sun that affect the weather on Earth. Basically, they wanted to understand solar Earth dynamics. Okay, and under this program, they launched this probe. Okay, now this spacecraft is the size of a small car. It was designed to observe sun's outermost layer. The sun's outermost layer is called corona. Okay, the outermost layer of sun is corona. It is even the hottest layer of sun. So the outermost layer of sun is the hottest layer of sun, solar corona. Okay, and it is also made up of plasma. So it is neither solid nor liquid nor gas. It is plasma. And Parker Solar Probe's main mission is to study corona. Okay, the thing is that sun's outermost layer shouldn't be the hottest. In fact, sun's innermost layer should be hotter and outermost layer should be cooler. That's not the case with corona. Corona is the hottest layer of sun. And that is why we want to understand why is the outermost layer of sun so hot, hotter than the other layers. This is what Parker Solar Probe wants to understand. Okay. Now this probe carries 4 instruments and has completed 20 orbits around the sun so far. So it was launched in 2018 and till 2024 it has completed 21 orbits around the sun. It even flew past Venus, giving some observations about Venus as well. Because if you want to approach the sun, you have to cross Venus and Mercury. So it flew past Venus as well. Okay. Now what is the significance of this mission? So Parker Solar Probe is the closest any human-made object has ever come to the sun. Okay, traveling at a speed of 6,92,000 km per hour, it endured temperatures up to 1,377 degrees Celsius when it reached close to the sun. Okay, so this instrument or this spacecraft survived this temperature. Generally, it is not possible for any electronic instrument, to survive this temperature, but Parker Solar Probe survived. The thing was that this spacecraft was shielded by a very 4.5-inch thick carbon composite shield. Plus, a single gallon of water was also carried to spray it on this sheet so that it cools the spacecraft down. That is why the spacecraft survived this temperature. Okay. Plus, another significance is that the data that this solar probe will gather from solar corona will help us understand corona better. Because corona is also a source of solar winds, which affect weather on Earth. So you need to understand corona better, because then you'll understand solar winds. And because if you understand solar winds, you will be able to understand weather systems on Earth, because solar winds affect Earth. Okay, so that is the significance. All right. Now we'll move on to our fourth news item, which is China's sixth generation fighter aircraft. So, China's Aviation Industry Corporation unveiled Baidu White Emperor B-type sixth generation fighter jet at Zhuhai Air Show. So, China claims that it now has sixth generation fighter aircraft. Up till now, the most advanced fighter jet aircraft was fifth generation. And that was only with USA. Only three countries were able to manufacture fifth gen aircraft: Russia and China. But China now claims that it has taken the lead in developing sixth generation fighter aircraft. In fact, images of this sixth generation fighter aircraft were circulating on social media very recently. Though these are unverified images, but they were circulating, and that is why this is in the news. Now, the question is, what do we mean by fifth generation, sixth generation, fourth generation, first generation? What is this term generation as far as aircrafts are concerned? Okay, so let's talk about this generation thing. So, what are generations? So, basically, there are no standard definitions of what constitutes a generation. Generally, the idea is generations are used as a heuristic device. Heuristic device means to understand things. Okay, so generally, it is argued that generation means a particular technology level. Okay, so if a aircraft belongs to first generation, it has base technology level. If it's second generation, it has some advanced technology level. So as soon as a fighter jet advances in and makes significant advances in technology levels, its generation gets upgraded. Okay, so fifth gen aircraft is the highest tech aircraft or fighter jet that countries have. So generation actually reveals the technology level. Okay, when a particular country makes significant advances in their fighter jets, well, they upgrade their generation. So what is China claiming? China is claiming that all countries currently have max to max fifth generation fighter jet aircrafts. We have developed a sixth generation fighter aircraft, which means we have made significant advanced technological progress in our new aircraft. And that technological progress is significant. It makes a lot of changes. Okay. Now, generation is simply a proxy for tech innovation or tech upgrade. Okay. Now we need some background about previous generations also. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the five previous generations. So first generation fighter jets were between 43 to 1955. Now most of these jets were subsonic speeds. I mean, their speed was less than the speed of sound. They had very basic aviation systems, no self-protection measures. Okay, ME 262, North American 586 Abre, MiG 15, Hawker Hunter. These are some of the examples of first generation. Then in second generation, some massive improvements were seen in speed of the fighter aircraft. Supersonic came out. Okay, supersonic or exactly the speed of sound came out. Weaponry improved, avionics improved. Okay, but in second generation, fighter jets could only fight within visual range. So if a fighter jet cannot see an enemy fighter jet, it cannot attack it. Okay, some of the examples were MiG-21, which is in India, but it is Russian. Sukhoi 9, Sukhoi 7B, Republic F-105 Thunder Chief. That that was all. Now the thing is that first and second generation fighter jets were of two types. Okay, these were of two types. Some were called bombers. So these fighter jets could carry heavy bombs and they can drop on the field. Some were called fighters. Okay, interceptors basically. So there were two types of fighter jets: interceptors and bombers. So what was the difference? Now the interceptors were those fighter jets which would intercept enemy fighter jets. So if an enemy is attacking you with a fighter jet, you can attack that fighter jet. Okay, you can fight with that fighter jet. So some fighter jets were designed to fight with other fighter jets. These are called interceptors. Okay, bombers were a different class. Bombers were those fighter jets which cannot fight with other fighter jets. They were only used basically to drop bombs. Okay, till second generation, this was the distinction between two types of fighter jets. But from third generation onwards, fighter jets had both features. A single fighter jet could be used as a bomber and an interceptor both. Because interceptors were light, bombers were heavier. But third generation fighter jets were light, they could intercept incoming fighter jets, enemy fighter jets, they could also carry heavy bombs to drop. So this distinction started getting blurred. F4 Phantom, MiG 23, Hawker Siddeley Harrier, these are some of the examples. Then came the fourth generation, 1972 2000s. They are multi-role aircraft. Okay, they could be used as interceptors, bombers. They had supersonic speeds. Plus, they had advanced computer and electronic systems. Plus, the basic benefit of this fourth generation was that it could fight beyond visual range also. So even if a pilot cannot see the enemy fighter aircraft, it can track it on its radar and attack it. Okay. Sukhoi Su-30, Sukhoi 35, Saab Gripen, India's Tejas, LCA Tejas, Rafale, F-16, F-18 are fourth generation. And then comes the fifth generation, which is the most advanced. Only three countries have it: USA's F-22 and F-35, Russia's Sukhoi 57, China's Chengdu J-20. These are fifth generation, and now China says that it has sixth generation as well. Okay, that is all. And now we'll move on to our last news item, which is ISRO's docking mission. So on December 30th, ISRO will launch SPADEX, Space Docking Experiment Mission. This mission is very critical because if this mission is successful, India's Chandrayaan 4 will be successful. India is also trying to build its own space station by 2035. That will also become successful if SPADEX becomes successful. Because through SPADEX, ISRO is going to demonstrate that it can easily dock big items in the space. Okay, ISRO is going to demonstrate its space docking capabilities in the space, which are critical for Chandrayaan 4 and space station. Now, what do we mean by docking? So docking is a process in which two fast-moving spacecraft are maneuvered into the same orbit, then brought closer together, and finally docked or joined. Okay, this is what is docking. So two big spacecrafts are joined together. This is what docking is in space, and this is very complicated. Now, why is docking essential? You see, you must have heard about International Space Station, right? Now, International Space Station is a big space station in floating in space. The thing is that this International Space Station wasn't launched like such a big object. What happened was that smaller objects were launched through rockets, and these smaller objects were assembled or joined together to form International Space Station. In fact, when astronauts are sent to International Space Station, they are sent in spacecrafts, and these spacecrafts join with International Space Station to offload astronauts in them. So docking is even required in that. Now, it is through docking that International Space Station is still working and was assembled together. Astronauts won't reach International Space Station without docking. Astronauts won't swim their way to International Space Station, right? They need docking. And why is it why this docking is significant for India? Well, India is also building its own space station called Bharatiya Antariksh Station by 2035. Plus, India is launching Chandrayaan 4. Under Chandrayaan 4, what would happen is that a spacecraft would be put in orbit of moon. Okay, so it would be orbiting moon, and then from that orbit a lander would be sent to moon. That lander would collect samples and bring those samples back to this orbiter. Now this also requires docking. So Chandrayaan 4, Bharatiya Antariksh Station all requires docking, and that is why SPADEX is essential. So what would happen in this SPADEX? So SPADEX mission, two identical satellites would be launched separately, SDX-01, SDX-02, okay, each weighing around 20 to 20 kg. Then these satellites would be drifted away from each other. Then a chaser satellite, SDX-01, would chase SDX-02 and then join SDX-02. Okay, this is known as docking. Once docking is complete, India will be able to demonstrate that it can perform docking in space, which would be a significant step for Chandrayaan 4 and Bharatiya Antariksh Station. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But please do not forget to revise this lecture as well. Revision is very important because it helps you to consolidate these current affairs in your memory. Now, you can do the notes provided by us. These notes shall be available on our Telegram channel, and the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. So make sure you click on that link. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.